And we will start off with Happy Tuesday as usual. It's July 28th. Pretty unbelievable that we've made it this far into the summer already, but we're glad that you are all with us today. My name is Dominic Church. I'm the Regional Director for Canvas K-12 in the Mid-Atlantic region, and I'm joined by some of my colleagues from Restructure. Any Restructure folks want to say hi to the group at large? Oh, I see waving there, our newest team member in Virginia, Dr. Casey Testerman. Why don't you say hi and introduce yourself to the crew?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm Casey Testerman. I'm just really excited to jump on board, and I very recently started, like yesterday.
New to the group, so be nice at least for a week. Josh, Jamie, Katie, would you guys like to say hi to the crew?
Hi, everybody. It's Josh Perez. I'm your project manager, and happy to see all you guys here.
And I left out Jaren in that group as well. Sorry. Just saw you, Jaren.
Hey, I'm Katie Morgan. I was smiling and waving earlier. Sorry, Jaren, I talked right over you. But hi, good to be here today.
All good. I'm going to be a fly in the wall unless there's any questions for me.
Perfect, Jaren. And I know we've got Jamie on as well. She may be hiding or lurking in the background.
I'm not lurking. I'm saying hi.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, everyone.
All right. So I think the Virginia crew is totally in place now with Josh, Jaren, Jamie, and the non-J member of the team, Casey, in place. We're going to start today with some division updates from Josh, just letting everybody know where we're at with this project, how far along we've gotten with all the divisions that have signed up, and what are sort of our next steps to help get people over maybe from phase 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. So Josh, take it away.
Thanks, Dominic. Hi, everybody. So as we all know, fall's getting a lot closer. The pressure's increasing, and we've actually done really well these last week or so in getting many more people to full completion of their implementation, getting support in place. People have completed their authentication and their sys integration. So that's really wonderful. You may have noticed we have started sending out nightly updates to project leads, just kind of quickly briefing you know which phase of development you are as far as how far along you've gotten in your implementation, as well as some individualized notes on what we're waiting for, or maybe who's the next, who's in charge of the next step. So hopefully that's been very useful. We would love some feedback on that. We don't want to pester you guys to the ground, but we want to make sure that everybody, including the quietest of the divisions, has a chance to know where they are and get their words out. So that's really great. This week, our primary focus will be on those in phase 2, which is setting up authentication. And we can see this as like a very easy win. It's something that we can complete without very many roadblocks, and it's a huge segment that we can really push you guys along and get that more grounded feeling that we're progressing. And as that big looming start date comes up for everybody, you can feel a little more prepared, a little more informed. Our way to figure to do that is obviously you have those nightly status updates. So you'll be receiving those every night going forward, or every weekday going forward. Make sure that everyone's on the same beat and same drum. We also have our open door tech webinars. This was a pretty big success last week. Those will be every single Friday at, let me make sure I don't say this wrong, 10 a.m. So Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Monday at 4 p.m. I'm doing that right as well. Yes, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we can send those links inside the chat. Make sure you have those, but it's a really great opportunity to have your tech specialist, your ITRT, anybody who's setting up your sys or your authentication, have them join in. It's open door. You can come in whenever you like. Just ask any questions, maybe talk in the chat with other divisions. We just really want to give you as many opportunities to talk to us as possible and make sure that no one feels left out. As a special thing we're doing this week, we're also going to focus on individualized messages. So we want to, anybody who's currently in phase 2 that hasn't set up their authentication, we're going to reach out to you personally try to make sure that everybody has that direct line, because we have a lot of people that are a little farther behind, a little more passive. We've definitely been focusing on the louder people that reach out to us. Those always get first attention right now, but a few have fallen behind, and we really want to make sure everyone's up to the same speed. So expect individualized messages this week, probably going out today, if all goes well. So we definitely want to make sure that everyone has a chance to talk to us. And I think that pretty much covers it. Dominic, if you want to take that?
Sure. So it looks like we had a request. Please send those links. You can drop them in the chat, but like Josh said, we'll make sure that those go out to the folks at Virtual Virginia to share. And we might even be able to push those out in the updates, the emails that come from us as well, so that everybody has access to the information and can log in and join the fun on Mondays and Fridays with the team. All right, next on our agenda was kind of an overview of things that we've talked about previously, but we started hearing from folks this week and from folks at Virtual Virginia that there were a couple of big topics that kept bubbling up. What is this tier 1 support thing? How do I access it? What is this training services portal thing? Where do I go to get that? What's in there? And then finally, folks are really starting to focus on branding their Instructure or Canvas accounts as well. So how do we make that Canvas instance look more personal to your division? So we'll talk through those 3 things, but I'm going to start by handing it over to Jamie, who's going to take you through the first things I mentioned, the training portal and the how to access tier 1 support.
Thank you, Dominic. So when you are in your instance, and tier 1 is being finalized over the next couple of weeks, so some of you have access right now, and some of you will see these links I'm sharing with you over the next couple of weeks. But tier 1 is that support that allows all of your staff members, all of your teachers to reach out to Canvas support directly and circumvent having to reach out to your IT team. So it'll be super helpful as you start the school year in the fall and those questions start coming in. And the way they will access is they'll go to the help menu and you'll see links. These top 3 links are your special link to your tier 1 support hotline. So each division will have their own phone number that they can call in. There'll be a link where you can chat with support, and then the report a problem link, which creates a ticket with the support division. So it'll be more of an email communication or the ticketing system if you're an admin. So those 3 things will be added to your help menu for all faculty, students, parents. No one else will see this. They'll just see the report a problem link unless you're a faculty member or an admin. So these will be added in for you. As the field admins, those of you who are designated to manage the support tickets on your end, you will have a field admin console that looks like this. There is information about this in our implementations course, so I'll show you where that is in just a minute. But when you come into this console, you will have the ability to chat with Canvas support here. So I can start my own chat. And again, this is those 3 field admins that you've designated. They can start a chat here with our support division, which is honestly the fastest way to get help. It has the immediacy of a phone call, but you're able to share links to your Canvas items in your Canvas instance where you're having trouble. You're allowed to share a lot more information because of the format. So we find that this has the quickest resolution time. So I highly recommend that you utilize this chat and that you encourage your teachers to utilize their chat link as well. And within here, you also have a cases section where if we had any cases, you would see cases pop up here that you can manage. It allows you to escalate cases directly to our Canvas support. So if I am a field admin at my division and I'm wrestling with something I can't quite figure out, but it has come to me because it's originally a student or a parent issue, I can create a case for Canvas support and escalate that directly. Our support team will not work with parents or students. I mean, that's privacy issues and protection of minors. So those, we will work with you on the behalf of the students or parents that you're supporting as a field admin. So that's how you can get us to help with issues that are involving students and parents. We don't want you wrestling with things that our support team can handle. We just want to protect your minors. So those are the various ways that you can get in. Your field admins will also be the ones who are setting up your KB or your knowledge base. This is what tells our support team how to manage those requests that are coming in. So if you have teachers who want their password reset or want us to create another course section for them, You get to decide what we will and will not do. Obviously, our team has the capability, but you get to make the decisions about what's appropriate for your division. So there will be some items in here already for you that sort of walk you through the main issues that we need your help with. So do you want us resetting passwords? Well, if you're using an SSO, some form of login that isn't Canvas, then they obviously need to go to your team to figure out how to get their password, how to get into Canvas, or what password options they might have. So you can set these up here. You have a details for Canvas support where you can provide information about what you want us to do, what actions you want us to take. And then you have details for your users. And this is a scripted response that our support team will copy and paste in a response to your users. So if you very specifically want to say, please contact this help email address to get for help with your authentication, we will paste that right into the response. So it just allows us to respond to the users the same way you would without you having to do it. So each of these items will be your responsibility to complete. And as your tier 1's access is handed over to you, these KBs will be in here for you. You can also add additional ones. You can come in here and click new. Maybe you have a specific use case that, something that often comes up or in your division, or can't even think one off the top of my head, but you have a specific use case that often comes to your support team or might be clicked on in here. You can create as many of these as you like. Just be sure you're being thorough with the information and how you want us to respond. All right. And then both those things I just mentioned, your support access and your how to utilize tier 1 and how to set up your KB, all those items are there for you in that implementation course that we've shared. So if you go to the support and training link, the very first place you'll go to is this tier 1 support page. And there's a video, it's a good 10-minute video that gives you the full tour of tier 1 support. And then there is the guide that will show you how to set up your KBs. So everything I just showed you, it'll really walk you through step by step and help you understand what exactly each entry is asking you to capture. As for your training portal, I know that we've shown that some in the past, but you've also had some developments to your training portal in the last couple of weeks where you should have access to more items. So when you come to your help menu again, you'll click this training services portal link and it'll open up the Bridge instance for you. My Learning will show you anything that you are currently working through. You have this learning library where you can find things. Of course, it's going to pop up and make me refresh. Give me a second. But the learning library will walk you through different courses you can search for. It's just your browsing catalog, but the search engine will also help you find anything that you're looking for from a training perspective. And again, this is something we've shown to you a couple of times, so I won't go too detailed in this part, but I do want to show you this training calendar, which will have shown up for you in the last week or two. And this is where you sign up for your live Canvas training. So any of your teachers have access to this. So you're providing trainings, and I know you're working hard to help guide them, but they also can come through and learn things at their own pace or things that they're curious about outside of your training offering. So they could come here to look up how to make home pages. They could go attend that session tomorrow. So they can register for these sessions off the live calendar. So it does go through several months in advance, and they can look for different items that they would like to visit. And that is also available here in the course. I believe is the next page. Yeah. So the same support and training section. There are details about how to access a training services portal, what to do with the live training. So everything I've just described will be in that course for you as well. And there are also some additional resources for you to look through. Were there any questions around either of those two that I could address for you?
Nope, it doesn't look like we had any questions. Carissa is asking now, how can we tell who is a field admin in our county?
You'll need to reach out to the VBA help inbox for that information. It's something that was designated, I believe, in the intake form. So they can help you. There's nowhere in Canvas that you can go look that up. So that's something we have in our information that they can help share with you. You're very welcome. All right, well, I will stop sharing and pass it over.
All right, so I'm going to tackle how to do some branding in your instance. So this is only available to admins, the ability to set up branding inside of a Canvas instance. And so you'll go into your admin shield, And then depending on whether you're the root admin or you happen to be an admin at a sub-account level, you will probably have access to the themes. So notice that's in the admin menu here. Just know that you can make it so that sub-accounts can brand or theme their sub-account instances different than the main instance, but that's also something that you can toggle off if you want that, that theme to apply to everywhere within your particular instance. So once you come into here, we have some theme templates. I think Rachel mentioned a couple of weeks ago, it looks like K-12, minimalist, university, higher ed templates. We've got a default template in there. You can choose from one of those templates as something to work from. If you're more of a minimalist, let's try that one. We'll just hit open in theme editor, and it takes us to the Canvas theme editor, where we're able to come in and set things like primary brand colors, text colors, link colors, those sort of things. And so you probably have somebody in your school division that knows what the branding hex codes are. That's what you see here, these pound 2773E2. That corresponds to a hex color that will render on the screen of a web browser, so that we can see things like this bright blue available to us here. We've also got the ability to come in and change some parts of the global navigation. So you'll notice all of these items can be changed right from inside of this theme editor as well, from the colors of the navigation background. You notice here the icons themselves. So as you look at these various icons, what color are they? That's set here. What color is the active icon, so that you know that we're in the admin area, so that's lit up in a separate color, a different color than what our normal icons are. And then other various things like active text and the avatar border color that's around my mug up there. And whether or not, sometimes you'll have a message in the inbox, that badge that pops up, what color is that going to be? That gets set here, as well as things like the background logo. If you've got a logo that's a PNG file with a invisible background, that can really work out nicely to have like maybe a white rendered logo on top of a colored background if you want. And then of course the ability for us to come in and set those logos. So I'm going to hit select image here. Let's see if I've got, I know back when I was teaching at Discovery Elementary School, I created their logo. So let's preview that change. And we're able to pop that logo right into the corner. Now this logo is probably a little big. I may have wanted to come in and build some padding around that so that it didn't take up the entirety of the space. But that's something that you can do from a design perspective to come in here and drop that logo in. In addition to that logo, when your users are in some sort of a responsive format, maybe they're on the web-based or mobile browser or in the Canvas app, you can change the logo that shows up at the top of your screen there. And we have recommendations on like heights and sizes and things like that that you can manipulate there. So definitely work with your division's art department if you have one, to get access to some high quality logos to put in there, because more and more of our users are logging in on Retina devices and high quality screens, and so having a nice logo in there is really going to make a difference. Then a couple of other things that you can edit and add. These are less used, I think, but if you wanted to have a watermark on all of your pages, you could add that. So you could come in here and drop in, a picture of a book or something like that, and then that would render on all of the pages in the background, and you can set the opacity of that watermark in order to kind of have it just be faded in the background. Then when you access Canvas from any browser, you have one of these fave icons that shows up. If you wanted to change that away from the Canvas logo and put your logo in there as well, you would just go ahead and add that fave icon there. And then same thing with the mobile home screen image. If you've ever saved a website off of Chrome or Safari on your mobile phone and had that been a shortcut on your device, you know that it automatically populates an image here, so you can replace that image with yours. Of course, most of our users are using our native mobile apps to access Canvas on their mobile devices, but every once in a while we see people that are linking directly to Canvas from a web browser on their mobile device, and this becomes something that you can do there. We also maybe less frequently see things like the Windows tile or those sort of things. So if you do have lots of Windows devices and you're leveraging the ability to use like a Windows native app or something, you can set the screens there. And then finally, something that probably none of you are going to need to change because you're leveraging a different authentication method. Your users may never see this screen because they're coming in via Google SAML or they're coming in via Clever or something like that. But you sometimes do have external users that log into Canvas this way, or if you're using Canvas alongside something else and it's not being provisioned or authorized through or authenticated through one of those other things, you might have the Canvas login screen. You can come in and change background images, add your logos here. Same idea as far as branding that login screen. So you're able to really customize the experience from both within and as you log into Canvas. Were there any pressing questions around branding and editing the theme? And by the way, once you have kind of gotten everything set the way that you love it, click Save Theme. Because this came off of a template, I have to say, let's call this the Discovery Elementary theme because that's the logo I chose. I just hit Save Theme. Then I get to apply this theme to my entire instance if I want to. And then it just takes a second for that application to happen. Anything in the chat that I can help with or one of my esteemed colleagues can help with?
Looking good, Dominic.
All right, fantastic. Well, then I'm going to stop sharing here. And I believe that puts us in the Q&A part of our adventure. All right.
Okay, I'll start by reading the questions. Let me turn
Maybe.
my camera back on. You are welcome. There we go. Now I'm a little more friendly, less frozen. All right, so is it possible to restrict materials in Commons to our specific users or specific groups within our organization? For example, materials only for one subject area.
Who on the team would like to tackle that one?
I can answer that for you. So you can restrict your, I'm sorry, did I cut somebody off? If you'd rather share, you're welcome to. You can restrict your comments, and I'm pulling up my screen to show you how. But in order to narrow down to a group, which is essentially what you're talking about, you'll need to manually add those users in. So you definitely can do that. But if you're wanting to restrict access, you'll want to come into the admin section and go under groups, and you can create a group here. So I could create ninth grade English. So you definitely, as I said, you can do that. You'll need to manually add those users in. Another way to manage that is just through filtering of content. So when I go under my resource, when I'm adding it in, I can select the grade level, I can select information, I can tag it. So I can add various information in here to help narrow that down also. So if you're just wanting them to locate it easily, filtering would probably be a better option for you, but you can restrict through grouping also.
Perfect. Okay, can we change the field admin for our district if our rules have changed? I know that you can, but Jamie, do you know the process for changing a field admin, or Josh?
If you just email the VVA help mailbox, we can get that process started for you. It's just a matter of switching one out. It is worth knowing each division can only have 3 field admins. So we can't go over that number. So you'll have to tell us who to take out and who to add in. Yeah, we can definitely make that happen for you.
Okay, how do we get courses for the account ribbon? When I select courses in all courses, there are none.
Well, we got to get you some courses then. If your instance has it set up to where somebody that is not rostered to any courses can create their own courses, and let me share my screen again to show you what I mean. You'll have a button on your dashboard somewhere, there it is, that says start a new course. If you don't have that button, that means at the admin level, it has been disabled for somebody without courses to be able to make courses. And I'll show you where that setting is. So you go to settings and we scroll down a little bit, and somewhere down here it is who can create new courses. Well, teachers, users with no enrollments, or students. We don't recommend you allow students to create courses, because then all of a sudden they become teachers in those courses and they have access to things like Commons and tools that they shouldn't have, some parts of the help menu that are contextual to just teachers. But if you, for some reason, had this users with no enrollments box not checked and you wanted to create a course, you'd have to ask somebody with an admin level permissions to create that course for you. If this is checked, then like I mentioned on your dashboard, you're going to have the ability to start a new course. Then that course's scroll bar will start to fill up with all the courses that you're a part of. You can do the same thing from the All Courses tab. You should be able to hit plus course and have that course created for you. Once you're a teacher, typically, right? Once you're a teacher in a course, we see people allowing for their teachers to create more courses. So if they want to spin up an additional sandbox, or if they wanted to create a collaboration course with somebody on their team, they have the ability to do that without having to contact somebody at the division level and ask for those permissions.
And then as a clarifier, Kimberly was asked the original question, so I'm skipping down a little bit. It says, I thought this was for PD staff development courses. We have division courses. So Kimberly, are you saying that you're looking for some professional development courses that you were expecting to see there, or that were automatically placed there? If you could just clarify that. Yes, okay. As far as I know, all the Virtual Virginia content is in Commons and being pulled down, but Jamie, I'm gonna, or Josh, or whoever can respond to this, is there anything that was automatically placed in their instance that I'm not sure about?
Nothing automatic. We can definitely add some sandboxes for teachers if that's in demand to be able to do that. But Kim, you as an admin would have access to be able to set up any courses as well, to be able to set up any of those. We can also set up the trainings as well within there, like the Growing with Canvas or different things like that, if there's any kind of demand to have those specifically in your instance rather than through the Virtual Virginia one.
Yeah. Can teachers change quota amounts, or does that have to be done by admins? The Virtual Virginia courses are larger than the default quota.
That has to be set at the admin level, and an admin can go in and do that for all courses. Here, I'll show you where that lives. Where's my canvas? There we go. So an admin can go in and modify the quota for all of the courses in the instance, especially if this is probably a good idea if all of the courses that you're trying to pull in from the Virginia or Virtual Virginia are larger than what has been already provisioned. You can just come in here and change the course quota. You can make it 5 gigabytes. That's what 5,000 megabytes is. You can change the user quotas, the group quotas. We don't have any predefined, or, basically in K-12, it's unlimited. So you can come in here and make these as big as you want. We don't encourage you to come in here and make them like, 10 gigabytes or anything like that. Far more of your courses are going to be very, very, very underneath that cap. So pick a number here that makes sense for 99.9% of your courses. And then if you have one-offs, you can always come in and find them here by course ID, or you can go directly to those courses as an admin. You can come in and search for them and change that quota directly in the course setting. So if I knew that this physical science course needed some additional space, I can come in and I can change the file storage for this and bump it up to 7,500 megabytes if I want, update the course details there. That's on a one-off, but in that admin quota tab, right, we go to the admin, click settings, go to quotas. You can change the default quotas for everything.
Okay, in a blueprint course, if there's a person who adds something to their copy of the blueprint, can they push that content back to the blueprint course, or would that be better accomplished through Commons?
There's not a way to do a backwards push of blueprinting, but if you made something awesome and wanted to share it with the person that created that blueprint, you can do direct share, or you could do something via Commons to alert them to the fact that you've got some resources that they could then add to the blueprint and push out for everybody.
Okay, this is kind of a best practices one, I think, a little bit when it comes to like parent accounts. I've noticed that parent of a student appeared at that login screen, but we don't have that option. How do we get parents to be observers? And I'm not sure if we covered that in a previous session or if we've talked about observer accounts. So if anyone was on and we did, definitely let me know here.
I don't believe we've discussed observers before that I'm aware of. I'm happy
I have a
can
lot
add
of
that.
opinions on this.
Go ahead then, Jaren, take it over.
All right. So give me a moment to prep myself. All right, so you guys are looking at my beautiful sandbox specifically. There are a few things to be able to get up and running with the parent setup specifically. Every single user that I would recommend, the method that I would recommend with this is basically utilizing the Canvas authentication and actually setting up so that parents can go create their own account specifically within Canvas. So basically the self-registration right here allows the observer to go basically go to the main login page. So if you go to hit login/Canvas for your instance, there's going to be this cool button right up top here that says, hey, are you a parent of a Canvas observer? Click on this. And then it basically just asks simple things, name, email, password again, and then the student pairing code. The student pairing code, if you click on this, it has a nice little guide that breaks down where that's at, how it's generated, who can do it. There is a setting on every single one of your instances for the permissions that I'd highly recommend doing that basically allows your teachers to generate pairing codes. So if you search for pairing codes under the permissions for the course level right here, it says users generate observer pairing codes for students. And if you turn that on for teachers, then every single teacher in their courses would be able to generate that pairing code for them. So from there, once they've actually got the pairing code enabled and available, then it's basically just a 6-digit code that they can be able to connect to here. And then once that's in there, the parent will have access to be able to sign in through this login/Canvas, and then have that same ability to have access to all their students' courses, not just the current courses, but any upcoming course as well. They're going to be linked to that in the future. Now there's going to be some parents who have multiple students within the same district, right? So if you actually go to account, profile, sorry, I'm doing this backwards, account settings, and then there should be an observing tab that's available. Apologize for anything you're going to see on my account here. I don't have actually one set up. You can actually go to the back door. If you type in observees, you can basically just continuously add as many students that are available just by adding that same pairing code from there. So this is great and helpful, but a lot of you have already basically said, okay, I'm not going to actually be utilizing this. I'm going to be doing login/SAML to be able to access this kind of site, be able to use your Google authentication to be able to access things. Because of that, I would highly recommend a discovery page, something that looks similar to this, where you basically have a student and a teacher login, and then also a parent login, which would basically be accessing the login/Canvas and login/SAML. We've kind of drafted up a little message about this that breaks down what a discovery page is all about and how to be able to set this up. This is not something that we'll set up on our side, but something that you guys would host on your side. If you have somebody who's web savvy that can be able to create this, I can share that little snippet with you and we can be able to give you that information quickly. So that was a lot. I do have one more thing I want to show you, just how to be able to generate that pairing code. If you go to the settings, if you are a student, then you can actually go through and say, hey, I want to pair with observer, and that's where the pairing code is going to be available. You can be able to do that. Or if you do it from the course level, if you go to a specific course, and go to the people tab, this is the permission that we set up. The teacher can actually go through and export the pairing codes for everyone in mass. So that basically from here, it would download this file. Can't click on it unless I'm sharing more on my screen, but basically this would allow them to be able to have every single one of these students have their own pairing code. You can do this multiple times. So if you've got like parent-teacher conferences, have 2 of them done. That way they can give one to the mom and the dad or whatever, you know, family situation they're in, so they can do it multiple times. Okay, I think I'm done with my spiel so far. Let me know what questions you have.
Perfect. And also Jamie shared some guides and some other information in the chat. So if you're like lost or you need, you know, something to look at later on, go in the chat, pull down those guides, save links to those, and you'll have those as well. Next question. Oh, go ahead.
If you email us at VBA Help, I'm happy to send the documentation for the discovery page as well. We've got that as a nice canned email that we can just send out pretty quick.
Okay, perfect. We've rolled over our Power School for the 2021 school year. The courses teachers were building no longer pop up on their dashboard. What's the best way to repopulate the courses that were there prior to the rollover?
This feels like another Jaren question.
It is. I didn't want to call you out, Sharon.
Teachers are building no longer pop up on the dashboard. It sounds like suddenly that they're not enrolled in courses anymore. Sorry, I need a little more context on that one, David.
Sure. Yeah, I wonder if the courses are being completed and then they show up in the prior enrollments, or?
Yeah, what was happening was I think teachers were using their sandbox as kind of some of the existing courses that they had students in. And so when we rolled over, what they were building kind of got, I guess, archived. So what's the best way to then extract that either content into the new school year, or to make, to facilitate them being able to continue working on the courses that they're building and modifying, but then populate that into their new, for the upcoming school year.
So the great news is anytime, nothing's ever fully deleted from Canvas. So if the same teacher gets the same access to the same course again, then they should be able to still work in the same content, able to glean that content, move into the new class from there. It's a little weird for me that they're suddenly lost access to that, especially if it's like a sandbox course. Is it two different instances? Like, is it from Virtual Virginia's Canvas instance and then your specific Canvas instance? Do you know?
No, it just doesn't pop up for them. I think if they go through and do, I guess, like I can see it as the admin when I go through and filter by term and pull up a different term and see the courses that they built. But when they go right into their dashboard, all they see is just what may be visible for this upcoming school year, what they're enrolled for in Power School, but they don't have like their 1920 school year courses aren't visible to them. So is their kind of, what's the quickest way for them to then go see that, find that course, pull it, copy it, drag it to whatever, to get it into this upcoming school year?
Yeah, they basically just need to be re-enrolled in that class again to be able to access it. Sorry, I don't feel like I have a fantastic.
Can I interrupt a minute? I think
Yeah.
I'm following. It might just be a term thing. We had a problem with this as well at Virtual Virginia. It may just be a simple thing and they need to click that all courses link versus just looking for it on their dashboard. I know we had a lot of teachers looking for that as well. And if the term is passed, then it's going to be in those past courses and not right on their dashboard.
So they just need to go into courses and then it'll populate like under courses and all their old courses will pop up.
Courses, and then if they click courses on the left and then click all courses, then they should be able to see it. Yeah.
Okay.
And it should be down at the bottom under past enrollments.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question. Can courses like Growing with Canvas be pushed out and assigned to all teachers as a requirement? Here's the answer to that. You can definitely, yes, you can pull down from Commons, Growing with Canvas. You can enroll teachers. You can enroll them all in one course. You can do it based on their school site. When we talk about requirements, there are different ways to show completion. We could do module requirements on it. There's different ways to show that, but the answer is yes, that you can definitely pull down the courses and enroll all the teachers. Once our single sign-on setup was complete, I'm finding some of our teachers now have 2 accounts, one in our instance and one from Virtual Virginia. Do I need to remove or merge them? Jaren, I'm going to let you answer this question.
Sorry, just zoned out. Which one are we on?
That's okay. They are finding, once their SSO was set up, they're finding some teachers have 2 accounts, one in their instance and one from Virtual Virginia. Do they need to, excuse me, do they need to remove or merge either account?
Charles, I got to dig into this a little bit further, but I can email you directly about that.
The other thing to consider though is that accounts are instance specific. And so you can have an account in your division's instance and in the Virtual Virginia instance. They are separate. They're for different purposes, right? One, the teacher may be enrolled in some professional development in Virtual Virginia, or they might be facilitating a course in the Virtual Virginia instance versus your instance where they're doing some different things. So those 2 accounts should then exist separately, and there really is no way to merge them across instances.
Okay, when are daily and weekly notifications triggered to be set out, and can those times be adjusted?
Who can pull up the guide fastest?
I seem to get a daily notification around 5 o'clock every day, on the East Coast at least.
So part of it is our job server is the one that actually runs that. And kind of depending on the mass of the job server, you might get it at a slightly different time. I don't actually know what time that starts running, but I imagine it starts running at a certain time of day, and then depending on how many it has to push through for the day, just be about that time when you get that. I don't think that's a fantastic answer, but I think that's the best that I can offer you.
Has it been figured out how we can get access to turning on mastery paths?
So we are talking with Virtual Virginia about that. It's currently set as off at the consortium level. So we're in discussions to see if they want to activate it or give you guys the ability to activate it. We're working out the kinks this week. Hopefully we'll have an update for you by the end of the week.
Okay, thank you. And I think I hit all of the other questions because there were some repeat things in here and things that we went over, but if not, please feel free to call me out and let me know that I missed yours. Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, is there a way to link classes? For example, one section might be split into 2, usually inclusion classes. We would like them to show up in one class. Jaren, do you want to talk about that? I see you nodding. So I'm taking that as you got to watch yourself with that camera. I'll call you out, Jaren. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can talk cross-listing. So basically, this should already be done for a lot of your setups. This is done automatically with the PowerSchool with a one-to-many setup specifically. Let me pull up my screen really quick, just kind of show you, do a walkthrough for this. So I'm just going to grab 2 random classes from my beautiful instance here. Chemistry Basics and Cosmetology, best ones. So I'm going to just jump straight to the settings for those ones. So basically, the way that I view cross-listing is you're basically just grabbing the specific sections and you're basically moving them into one course altogether. So each of the sections actually contain the enrollments for the specific class, and that's how you basically can pull the enrollments and the users into a different class from there. So how this works and how I recommend doing it is basically grabbing the main course of what you're wanting to move every single one of them, so kind of the parent or the mother course, and basically just grabbing that ID up from the Canvas URL right here. So courses/9, basically grabbing that 9, and moving over to the section or the course that you want to move into, move into that parent course. Basically go click on the section from here, and there's going to be this button over on the right side saying cross-list the section. Click on that one. If you want to guess and figure out if it's the right one or not, you can be able to search in there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would rather just be definitive and say, this is the one that I'm looking at specifically, and being able to drop in that 9 right there. And then from there, cross-list the section. And once we do that, we can refresh And now my chemistry is going to be part of my cosmetology. So if we refresh this page right here, go to the sections, you're going to see the chemistry basics, those 3 users right there. Which one was I actually looking at? Was these ones? Yeah. These 3 users are now part of this one. So you can basically just lump them all together from that. There is a way to be able to do this in mass. If you do the CSV file, we can actually do the cross list. So you, basically, if you've got all the different course IDs and the section IDs you want to do this, you can basically just put together a CSV file that would look something similar to this. You basically just lump them all together and do it all at once in mass. That is available for you if you want to do that. And then when we pull from your data, from your sync, from your sys again, this doesn't get overwritten. This is a sticky field. I know it doesn't say that it's sticky, but this basically means it's always going to be connected to that course moving forward. Your section won't suddenly bounce back to the old course after that sync has been finished.
Perfect. Thank you, Jared. And Dominic also dropped the guide to cross-listing in chat. So anyone who's looking for that guide, that's there. I'm not familiar with these 2 courses, so this might be a Virtual Virginia question, but Carissa asks, is Canvas Countdown different than outreach training? So I'm familiar with growing with Canvas, but is this a Virtual Virginia course? Does anyone know? Canvas Countdown.
This is Sarah Warnick from Virtual Virginia. We do the outreach trainings, but the Canvas Countdown, I believe, is in partnership with VSTE. So that is, that's a relatively new one. So they are on our side. So they are different. They do go into the Canvas tools, and they're lightly facilitated over 2 weeks with a facilitator from the VSTE side and also one from the main professional learning coordinator for Virtual Virginia. They'll be leading that, but largely it's Canvas Countdown is asynchronous, although it is paced specifically on 2-week sessions. The outreach trainings are divided into 3 parts, and those can be done at any time, and you can, that's self-registration through the Virtual Virginia portal.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, another question for you. Do you know if there's a limit to the number of enrollees for Canvas Countdown? Oh, you already answered. There's not, for everyone who's just listening to the sound of my voice. All right. Okay. If you want to pick up the mic and be brave and talk to us and ask a question, you can, or you can put it in the chat.
It's super brave and throw your video on.
Intimidating.
We're just bullies here at Canvas.
Just don't pick your nose. It's okay.
Okay. I think, Dominic, I will let you close it up, but it looks like we are done. I don't see anyone typing. Everyone's keeping their cameras off, and I feel confident that we are done.
All right. As usual, thank you for spending part of your Tuesday with us. We look forward to seeing you on Mondays and Fridays with Josh and crew. This recording will be sent to my friends at Virtual Virginia and VSTE. They'll usually send out the recording link to everybody. VSTE will then post the recording to their YouTube channel. So lots of different ways to access the content that you've seen here. Of course, in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can throw them at vvahelp@instructure.com for assistance in moving from phase 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 and being ready to use Canvas with your K to 12 kids very, very soon.
And can I, this is Karen Richardson with VSTE. If I can't get through a meeting without talking, my colleagues know that. I put the VSTE video link in there, but also last week, Canvas figured pretty prominently in the virtual conference that we did. So be sure to check that playlist as well. Folks from Code, RVA, high school that have been using Canvas for a couple years did some good sessions, not on the technical stuff, nothing wrong with the technical stuff, but also did some great stuff about blended learning in general, social emotional learning through your LMS and those kinds of things too. So push it out, please, to your faculty, and there they are ready to go. So thanks.
Thank you, Karen, for letting us know about those extra resources. And with that, I say a bid adieu to everybody in the Commonwealth, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye.